Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated.
Thrilling,
here at TonyBasilio.com. Never spilling. Home of the Tony Basilio Show.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We are 1 week out from our Festivus celebration on December 23. That's my birthday. Also, we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Mark Griffin, so glad to read you today in the blog. Love you, man, as he continues to get better. Say a prayer for my boy Mark Griffin. Also for Bino, that he gets better. Bino said he went, how long was it, Brian, between his upchucking episodes and his life? How many years?
Repeat that again. I was stepped away for a second.
Yeah, how long did Bino go between upchucking in his life?
Oh, he said he was a teenager.
So he was like 13 the last time it happened to him, he told me.
I don't know how you do that, but that's pretty impressive.
So like 60 years or something. Matt, can you imagine going 60 years without blowing your cookies? For those eating an early lunch? I digress.
No, I could not. But I also couldn't imagine leading a show talking about that either.
So we got a lot to get to today and very little time to get there. Louis Vegas is in town tonight. Matt, do you find Louis Vegas a dangerous opponent, or are you sharing the optimism that the gambler must feel? Because the Vols opened yesterday as a underdog, and today you look up, and there's a reason they haven't been, as they take the floor tonight, looks like they're going to be a favorite. They've jumped to like a 3-point favorite, so apparently the world thinks the Vols are going to get right tonight. What do you think of this matchup, Matt? Because we're going to bring a Louisville guest in here in a few moments to talk with him about it.
Really intriguing game. Very different Louisville team than the one you kind of rolled last year up there. Shoot a lot of threes. So you got to defend the 3-point line well. The team's going to score.
Yep.
So you're, not going to turn the ball over. And they just shoot it really well. Really, just a really good offense. So that can pose some problems for Tennessee, obviously. So it should be fun. It is interesting that I think it was 2.5 in Tennessee's favor on VIP play this morning.
Yep.
So, kind of a, I guess, pretty even matchup, but should be a fun game. It's a game Tennessee kind of desperately needs. Talked about that Syracuse game, how they needed that game badly, a few weeks ago, and this is kind of Tennessee's turn to get that win back and get another big win and end this losing streak.
The number jumped around from yesterday to today, and I think one of the reasons is that Tennessee's very desperate. This is a desperation game for the Vols. Brian made an astute point yesterday, Matt, when he said that Tennessee's in the shoes that Syracuse was in a couple weeks ago when the Vols went to upstate New York on a snowy night. Syracuse was extremely desperate for a quad one win. Of course, Syracuse gave it back. They lost to the Dutchman over the weekend, the Flying Dutchman of Hofstra. But nonetheless, any Dutch Mantel fans out there know what I'm talking about when you talk about the Dutchman. But this is going to be a real challenge for a Tennessee team, Matt, right now that's identity-wise on offense really struggling for their offensive identity.
Yeah, and a bad matchup in that aspect against a team that wants to score quickly. They get out and run.
Yep.
Tennessee's transition defense has been kind of shaky and by Rick Barnes standards has just been really bad for parts of this season. So, you got to find a way to step up. You need Ament to kind of come out of this little funk he's in. You need Gillespie to play well.
Yep.
You need Carey to give you some points. You just, it's a game where you got to have everybody kind of contribute some points, because you're gonna need to score in the mid 70s and maybe even up into the 80s to win.
Should be a huge crowd on hand tonight, and we'll be on with you. Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. As soon as it's over, hit us up over on the app, and we'll be with you, or you too,
this sounds
or wherever.
Like similar to Alabama. There's sort of a that Tennessee's actually fared well against recently.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Brian.
Lots of threes, gets up and down.
That's right, Brian. Yep. It's very true, and it's one of the things that one of our guys was sharing with me today. C and Lee both believe that Tennessee, they generally excel against teams like this. Here's the thing I ran by both those guys, and y'all tell me if I'm crazy. We got to hit some shots to stay in this game tonight. I mean, part of the allure and part of the reason Tennessee's been successful against Alabama in the past is they've actually hit shots. And they've also dared Alabama to take twos. Now, Louisville, that's kind of how they play. They're going to play an out game. They are second in America in three-point attempts or third in America in three-point attempts on the year. Tennessee's 220 in three-point attempts heading into tonight. Louisville has number one in America made threes. They make 13.5 per game, and the Vols are 210 in America. And Matt, they're so good that Isaac McNeely, who would have been like solid gold here to us, and he would have been. Isaac McNeely's their third leading scorer, 11 points per game on 26 minutes a night, and he's shooting 41% from three. But they've got a guy named Ryan Caldwell who shoots it better from three, a kid they got from Xavier who's lighting it up. I mean, they've got an embarrassment of riches from the perimeter, Matt, the way they've built their ball club.
Yeah, brought in two senior wings who can shoot from outside, and then pair that with a freshman, Mikael Brown, who's really good.
Yep.
And he's the guy that can kind of attack the basket and dish it out on those kickouts, get to the foul line. So it's a good combo to have. But no, they shoot threes early and often and make a lot of them. So tough. And then with Brown being able to penetrate and score at the rim or get fouled, it makes it pretty difficult to defend a team like that.
So we're in a spot right now where this is a must-win. Because if you look at the league and you consider what the SEC is, Tennessee will have to rip through the league if they want to be a top 5 seed. Tonight's game is really important from that standpoint for the March watchers out there. And I'm a March watcher. I mean, we all should be March watchers to some degree. The thing about Louisville is, and we were talking about this before, but this is a team, 52% of their three-point shots against Tennessee this year come from 25-plus feet. The Vols do a nice job of pushing people out. Louisville does lead the country, like we were telling you, in three-point attempts. 58% of their shots come from three versus top 100 teams, and they only shoot 31% in those games. So a lot of these numbers are skewed. Plus, when you speak about skew, my boy Watson Brown, Simpsons Meats, Louisville averages 18 points less per 100 possessions. These are like some advanced numbers. But they're really a great offense, but when they play those top 100 teams, they're different. Now, they obliterated, and I mean obliterated, Memphis over the weekend. Scored 99 on them. And the interesting thing, Matt, was I looked it up. McNeely only had 2 points in that game, which is really an anomaly. Boy, we really could have used him. Really could have used him.
I should point out that Memphis is not very good.
No, they're not.
So, do with that. I'm kind of glad they had a really good game coming in.
Penny for your thoughts, man. Penny for your thoughts. Last year against Tennessee, 65% of their shots were three-pointers. But they didn't have a ball club last year. They were 10 of 39 from three last year. I'm with Matt. This is a different.
They were never in that game.
No, never. They got ambushed.
I think Tennessee jumped out 10-0.
Yep.
And literally never trailed or never led by less than 10. And Louisville, that was like, I think that was like the second home game with Pat Kelsey there. So they kind of jammed out the arena, and it was a big spot for them. And Tennessee just avalanched them early with physicality. And that's the game that Tennessee had like 20 turnovers in a blowout win.
It was a football
to show you
Saturday.
How much Tennessee dominated them, but a totally different team.
It was a football Saturday. Who were we playing that day, Matt? We were home with somebody because we played.
Mississippi State, I think.
There you go, Mississippi State, because we played Marcos's tailgate, and I was over there watching it and then doing the post-game show with C from Marcos's tailgate, and then we played music afterwards. It was kind of a surreal day for me, but to do the show and then get up and play some music and then come back home and do the Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction, do 2 post-game shows, 2 and 1. But so tonight ought to be interesting. The Vols opened as a dog. They're now a favorite. So all those numbers as a dog are out the window. But it is interesting how few times in the Rick Barnes era Tennessee has been an underdog in that building. Just the consistency of the Rick Barnes era is immutable. It's just utterly remarkable how consistent he's been. I know the Negadaves of the world, and Brooks Holton's going to join us. He's covers the ball club in Louisville, and he'll join us on the other side. I do want to get into, though, when Brooks goes off, the transfer portal. And I do want to talk about quarterbacks because I've been digging around, and as a prelude to this, let me just say this. I think a lot of schools are having sticker shock right now. Talking to people. The transfer portal market. And you guys, hey, Brian, check me on this, okay? But I was told today that 7 of the 12, maybe we can go through this on the air later on. 7 of the 12 playoff teams this year have a transfer quarterback leading them. Do you find that to be an accurate statement, Brian, off the top of my head? Do you think that makes sense? And there's a little bit of a...
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, the Ohio State quarterback's not a transfer.
No, the Alabama quarterback's not a transfer. The Alabama quarterback's not a transfer.
Texas Tech quarterback, I don't think is a transfer.
I don't think so either.
Oregon's quarterback, I don't think
he is a transfer.
Yeah,
he transferred from UCLA. He's a 5-star player.
Yeah,
okay.
Transfer.
Yep.
Georgia's isn't.
So that's 3 right there that aren't.
A&M's isn't.
That's 4.
Miami's is.
Yeah, Miami's is. But
Ole Miss's is.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is.
Tulane is, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of programs. The point is, a lot of programs see the transfer quarterback as a panacea. And so we're going to talk about it because in some of the numbers I'm hearing flying around, and I was also told by somebody that would know a few moments ago that those guys going into the portal yesterday, a bunch of them, was related. And I want to talk about that. This is going to be an agent-driven market. And how involved in it should Tennessee get? Because Tennessee needs to rebuild their defense. I'm asking you, Living Vol fan, I'm going to ask you this later on in the hour when we're done with our guest. Would you prioritize defense over offense over defense? Because you may have to choose. And I understand Jim Knowles has been breaking film down, and he's asking for some ingredients in his kitchen. Let's put it that way. He was on campus yesterday, and they're going through the process of looking right now. And so we'll take a brief time out and come back with more. It's your Tony Basilio show. I got Dixon. I got Brian Hartman. John Adams will join us Thursday. He's indisposed. This thing that's going around, everybody's checking out on me here as we continue with more after this. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans. fans, on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations. Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall.
Calhoun's invites you to leave the cooking to us all holiday season long. Between now and the end of the year, feast without the fuss when you host at the holidays. Don't you dare cook. Go absolutely next level with this offer. Between now and the first of the year, Calhoun's is offering an incredible deal on delicious turkey or prime rib dinner. You could feed from 5 to 10 people at your home holiday gathering, not lift a finger of preparation. The turkey dinner comes with amazing sides like mashed potatoes, peas, melt-in-your-mouth gravy, dressing to die for, fresh rolls, cranberry sauce, and homemade cheesecake. And that prime rib dinner features amazing melt-in-your-mouth prime rib, fresh mashed potatoes, au jus, green beans, gravy, rolls, horseradish sauce, and delicious fresh baked cheesecake. This amazing offering is available now through the new year. Call to place your order today. More information found at holidayfeedpack.com. Again, that's holidayfeedpack.com. Feast without the fuss this holiday season with Calhoun's, the taste of Tennessee.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com.
Cold weather is on its way, and keeping your home warm and cozy doesn't have to cost a fortune. Upgrade your HVAC system with Pipe Wrench Home Services and get payments as low as $137 per month. You'll also save on utility bills with a new energy-efficient HVAC system to keep your home warm and comfortable through the holidays. We make it easy with free on-site estimates on replacements and free second opinions on repairs. So call or schedule your appointment online today at pipewrench.com and get a new energy-saving HVAC system for as little as $137 per month. We are committed to keeping your home cozy and worry-free this holiday season. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Fire this thing up, focus this thing, and prepare this thing, ladies and gentlemen. And I just spoke over your legalese there. I apologize, CJ. You're my boy. Good night, Basilio. Quick on the draw today. Shout out to CJ. Let me, without further ado, bring in a gentleman on the Newsmaker hotline. Ladies and gentlemen, he breaks it down scientifically. He's been with us before. He will move left to right across your device today. And he will get it done with the greatest of ease. And tonight, as we were talking about, as a prelude to this piece here in our A block, the Vols have their hands full tonight. And what a difference a year makes in major college basketball. Because the team Tennessee seeing tonight, I think, has one-seed ability. I think they've got Final Four ability. Whether they have one-seed ability, I don't know. But they have Final Four ability because they can flat-out shoot the basketball. And Brooks Holton now joins us. Louisville Courier-Journal, a native of Kentucky, a graduate of Missouri. Brooks, how am I doing so far on your CV? Anything else you want to add on your CV here?
I will shout out Center College because that's where I went to do my 4 years of undergrad, and then I got my grad school, a master's degree at Mizzou. So
let's freaking go.
That would be the only correction there.
Let's go. Center College is absolutely
I played football there. Four-time scout team player of the week, Division III.
Let's go, my friend. And when you're playing D3 football and you're on the scout team, that's called a labor of love. Tell me about this Louisville ball club coming off a 99-point outing against Memphis where defense was optional in that game and Louisville was raining three balls out the sky.
Yeah, I thought it was a really great game, one of their strongest so far of the season, just in terms of, the sort of contributions that they got from the bench. Bench scored 44 points. I think Memphis' starters had 49. So just a really good stuff. I mean, like, obviously when you have guys like Ryan Conwell and Michael Brown Jr. In your backcourt, you kind of know what you're going to get from them every night. But to be able to have different guys come up off the bench and give energy, and as Pat Kelsey likes to talk about, raise the level of play. I think that that's what this team is really going to need moving forward. And we were kind of talking about it before you guys started up after your break, but they made 18 threes on Saturday. I think that was 2 off the season high, and their most accurate 3-point shooter, Isaac McNeely, the Virginia transfer, he did not hit a 3. So it just shows you the kind of firepower that they can work with on a nightly basis, where you have to kind of prep for a ton of different weapons.
I'm going to jump the great Matt Dixon in here momentarily, but just, looking at things, you and I were talking off the air. Obviously, Tennessee came very close to this McNeely kid, and he would have been a huge part of Tennessee's offense. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. At Louisville, though, he's like option 3, option 4, which is kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, you could certainly make the case. I think, when you have a projected lottery pick in Michael running point, him and then Orion Conwell kind of operating as a kind of like, I would say on the wing, because, when you have a guy like a McNeely, he's mostly a 2 guard. So when you have those two and Brown and Conwell, they take a good deal of shots every game. So I would say that Isaac's probably the number 3 option, but you can make a case just from the consistency aspect of what you've been getting from Sananda Fru, who's a 22-year-old German. He played, I think, 4 years professionally in Germany. He's been really solid in the post, just a great lob threat, can do some rim running. He's a threat to shoot a 3 every now and again. I think he's 2 for 2 on the season, so he won't take many, but he has a decent shot. But he's been playing really well. You can make a case for him as like the 3rd option, just in terms of, him getting some really easy baskets in the post. But McNeely is certainly someone that they want to get going on a nightly basis.
Yeah, obviously Louisville's been really good offensively, basically all season. But when the offense kind of gets bogged down or slowed down, are there any kind of common themes there of when the offense isn't either shots aren't going in or they're just having trouble getting to the free throw line? Like what causes some of the offensive struggles, the rare times they happen?
Yeah, I think, the 2 worst showings offensively were the game at Arkansas and then the game against Cincinnati. And I think both instances are dealing with a team that, has a bit more athleticism. Certainly Arkansas, they have some great guards who can really pressure you and try to just, wreak some havoc at the point of attack. Just kind of like blitzing ball screens, kind of getting them out of sync in a way, because they really like to move the ball. They don't want it to, be kind of like probing almost up at the top. So I think it's just trying to disrupt, get deflections, and then also really a big thing, with Louisville is that they like to play in transition, right? So even after made baskets, they're really pushing the ball up the court. So if teams can kind of slow them down and get them more settled and be able to take their time and not playing on their heels, essentially, I think that, that's where this team can kind of, start to struggle. And then obviously if they don't get threes to fall, I think that this team is also probably still working a bit on not letting their offense, impact their defense too. So just a few things to look for tonight.
Brooks Holton, Louisville Courier Journal. Go ahead, Brian.
This Louisville team has the tendency to maybe struggle somewhat when they play on the road in a hostile environment. See Cincinnati, see Arkansas. They struggled in at least one of those games. They won, but, they kind of had to come from behind.
Right.
Did he think they might be a team that could struggle on the road?
We'll see. The game against Cincinnati is kind of a bit misleading because it was in Cincinnati, but it wasn't like a neutral court, so they weren't playing on campus. And there was a very loud and I would say, a big contingent of Cards fans there. The only problem is that both teams are red and black, so it was kind of hard to tell them apart. But no, certainly the game in Arkansas, they seemed rattled very early, especially, and what kind of calmed them down, I thought, the second half was getting to the line. I was looking, this is obviously the first game at Thompson Bowling in almost a month, right? So I'm sure the place is going to be loud tonight. And that's kind of one of the things I'm most interested to see is after that experience at Arkansas, how do they bounce back in a tough environment like this?
Vols are a desperate animal tonight. They've had 11 days or so to prepare for this thing. They did not look good the last couple of times they were played. They didn't look good on offense. They weren't very good on defense, but other than that, they've strung a couple of pretty good games together. I think Tennessee's hope tonight and I want your thought on this, is that they've been able to push opponents out and extend things and force them to shoot long threes instead of easy threes. That's their hope. Louisville obviously has an excellent point guard, though, who's been able to facilitate in this, what many people think is a one-and-done freshman. If you can elaborate on his play, the impact he's had on their ball club.
Yeah, when he's on, I mean, he's as good as anyone in the country. I think you'll go back and watch some highlights of the game against Kentucky. Like, they've obviously, their season has taken a turn, and but that was probably his best game so far in college, was a game against UK. Just really a huge performance. And I think that there are times, like you look at the game against Arkansas, where he struggled with shot selection, just a lot of contested threes, just not some great looks, and that was even an issue sometimes in the game on Saturday. I think Pat Kelsey subbed him out and kind of got in his face on the bench a little bit. Both were fine afterwards about the whole interaction. But he's someone that can kind of press a little bit. He can try to do a little too much. It's just kind of a matter of, refining the mindset, I think. And he's really good off the dribble. So, if the shots aren't falling, he has to kind of make that flip in a hurry, right? Because, he can get downhill and he can draw fouls. So, you're going to see a lot of different stuff from him tonight. I think that he can make some impactful plays on defense. I don't know if he's the best defender on Louisville's team. I would say Conwell, and then maybe a guy like Adrian Woolley and Kobe Rogers off the bench. Those are probably your best perimeter defenders. But Michael is really special to watch. It'll be fun to see him in this sort of environment again and see how much he's learned, because he has had some good games over the past couple of weeks, but it just hasn't felt like with the same level of just like he can kind of take a lot of shots to get 15, 17, 20 points. If that makes sense.
No question. But a lot of freshmen, go through periods where they, will have a struggle point here or there, or playing on the road, or a certain. I wonder if Tennessee. Hey, Matt, I want to jump you in here. I wonder if Tennessee does some stuff with him to try to rattle him early tonight in front of that crowd. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think he would probably be the key that Tennessee focuses on, and whether they can stop him or not, or not will probably dictate the game. But yeah, he'll probably be the main focus of Tennessee's defense. So it will be interesting to see how he handles the spot on the road against a physical team. Not quite as good defensively as they have been the last couple of years, but still a Rick Barnes defense. It's gonna really put ball pressure on him and make him work. He's probably the key to the game, honestly.
Brooks Holton joining. He covers the Louisville Cardinals for the Louisville Courier-Journal and does an excellent job. He's been on with us before. He's a ball knower. And you and I were talking off the air, Brooks, the fact that Tennessee is extremely desperate, the fact that Louisville's riding high right now, I mean, what a difference 13 months can make in that sport. It's just crazy. But this Kelsey guy's done a hell of a job in a short amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it just speaks to, he knows what he wants from his teams, and he's able to go out and get guys who fit that to a T. I mean, he's got, a ton of shooters to choose from. He was a point guard himself in college, so, he really likes working with those guys, and he's got a really good one in Michael. And then just in terms of the depth, like I said, there are going to be guys, you'll see a lot of substitutions tonight, and, from Louisville's perspective, they're coming off the best game in terms of bringing guys off the bench and have them provide a spark. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that sort of a momentum going, because there are probably going to be some moments tonight where they need someone to come in and just give them a boost.
How do you think the Cardinals handle it tonight? What do you think?
Yeah, like I was saying off the air, it's very hard to pick against a Tennessee team that's had so much time to prepare. And, like you were telling me, Barnes has never lost 4 in a row at Tennessee. So, just having the home environment, I think that this is a game where I think that Louisville will play better than it did against Arkansas. I don't know if it'll make I don't know if it'll have enough winning plays in it down the stretch. Essentially, I think Tennessee's a really physical team, and Louisville's good rebounding. They have good rebounding numbers, but in some of their games against a bigger bigger and more athletic teams have kind of struggled on that end. So I think Tennessee could give them a real problem there tonight.
Yeah, it's Matt, what do you think of that? Just taking the Vols because the game's just so important to Tennessee. Because I was telling Brooks here off the air, if the Vols lose tonight, we might have to deal with the fact that, this season's just, could be a long one, especially if it looks ugly. Because if you can't piece it together after having all that time off and all that time to prepare for an important game, this feels like an all-in type of game to me tonight, Matt. I hate to put it that way, but it's just how it feels.
Yeah, it does, and Tennessee's got to figure out a way to dictate the pace and tempo of the game, because you get in a fast-paced, high-scoring game. I just think Louisville's got too many scoring options and can just outscore Tennessee. It's got to be a game that Tennessee makes a half-court game. They can use their size and physicality inside as a strength and not get exposed defensively with that. So it'll be curious. I'm really curious to see what Tennessee's game plan is and how they attack it. How Nate Amen, who's been struggling recently, can he kind of turn that corner a little bit with some time off? Do they figure some things out? So really intriguing and fun game. I haven't watched Vandy, but I think that Arkansas team might be my pick to win the SEC. I think they're really, really good. So I watched them in Louisville, and Louisville didn't play bad, but I just think Arkansas is a little bit better than Tennessee in a lot of areas.
Louisville's sneaky good is what they are. They're kind of the computers didn't like them a couple weeks ago, but I think they're a pretty sneaky good team like you do, Matt. And Brooks, from your perspective, what kind of advantage does Tennessee have inside if they can force Louisville to play their game?
Yeah, obviously a size and a physicality are, those are huge emphasis. Those are huge points of emphasis under Barnes. So I think that, if they do slow it down and get in the half court, right, that means probably more looks at the rim for Louisville or more drives and try to kick out. So if they have the size down low to be able to, block shots and just make things difficult for Louisville's, drivers and their cuts, that's certainly going to kind of muck things up. And if you can just kind of turn Louisville over too and try to play in transition yourself, that's something that, like when you have those opportunities, like certainly needing to capitalize on them. But I think the biggest thing for Tennessee is just they're such a good team defensively, and that's always a staple of the program, right? To be able to throw a team like Louisville off rhythm, and there are a ton of different things you can do that. But I just feel like that's probably going to happen tonight, at some point, or it will happen for a long enough stretch that I don't know if they can bounce back from that.
Brooks Holton, Louisville Courier-Journal. On the way out, man, I really appreciate you taking some time for us. And anything else you'd care to add on tonight's game? And then give the living listener, your coordinates where they can find you.
Yeah, I don't really have much else about tonight's game. I'm really looking forward to it. I've always seen a lot of big games at Thompson Bowling Arena on TV. So
yeah,
first time getting to cover a game there. Just super excited about that. Arkansas was awesome. I kind of expect this to be the exact same way in terms of crowd. Yeah, if you want to find me on social, it's at Brooks Holton, Holton on Twitter, or X, I guess now.
You're the man, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Great talking to you. Yeah, tonight's game's going to be really interesting. Tennessee's in absolute desperation mode. They've kind of put themselves behind the eight ball. Matt, I'm shocked with the league this year, the step back in the league. I'm not alone. I don't know how Jimmy Dykes is going to sell 14 teams in this league this year into the NCAA tournament. I guess he'll try, but Jimmy's
just going to be crowded in the back of it.
Jimmy's got quite a sales job. You're right, Brad, because a lot of our teams are going to be sitting on the floor of the jet by the lavatory if they get on the jet at all. They're going to be back there by the lavatory.
On standby.
Yes, on standby.
No, you were never going to replicate what you did last year, and you had to just really 4 or 5 teams that were Final Four title good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it plays out. You may only have 1 or 2 kind of Final Four teams this year, but that could wind up helping Tennessee. If Tennessee kind of takes a step back, but the rest of the league also takes that step back, you could find a way to scratch out some extra wins there that you might need to get, to stay have a good seed. So, but no, it's definitely, Kentucky is really bad.
Yes.
Florida's got maybe the best front court in the country, but they don't have the guard play. Alabama's kind of Alabama, although they're just not very good defensively. Vandy, we'll see how much of their stuff's sustainable. I think Arkansas is the best team in the league for a deep March run.
You talk about Florida not having guard play. Boogie Flan transferred from Arkansas to there, and apparently Arkansas looks like they've gotten a lot better, and Florida's regressed.
Boogie Flan's a horrible player. No offense to him. 865-200-5402 is the numero uno. Hold the calls. I want to talk about the quarterback deal, and then we have a special guest going to join us here momentarily. But I want to talk about the quarterback deal. Let's get into that for a few minutes. Matt, are you a Lagway oneer who's in the portal? Would you talk to him?
I guess you could talk to him, but I just think the guy's too injury prone, and with the price tag that he's going to kind of demand, I just think you're better suited, getting somebody for less money and using some of that elsewhere, but to fill other needs.
Brian, how many teams have transfer quarterbacks? Have we looked that up?
In the playoffs?
Yeah, let's look that up. Tennessee believes that they got to spend a preponderance of their money that they have, and they've got a huge nut here, but they believe they've got to spend a preponderance of their money in the portal on defense. Knowles has kind of made it known. I mean, he's going to need what he's going to need. We talked about these guys last week. He's got the instigator. He's got the regulator. What do they call the safety, Matt, in his deal? The guy that barks out the signals. Not the regulator. Percolator.
The adjuster.
The adjuster. Thank you. Anyway, here's a conversation they're having. Everybody's having. How worth it are these guys? Do I want to spend $3 million, $3.5 million on Sorsby? How many defensive players could I get for that? How many defensive players, how much could I shore up my horrendous, unwatchable defense and roll with a GMAC? Roll with a less than expensive veteran quarterback, a Joey Aguilar type. I was talking to somebody today that told me that the price of these quarterbacks is astronomical and through the roof. Now, are these teams going to bite? We already know Texas Tech is going to bite. The Sorsby guy is an interesting choice because he's an interesting guy to look at. Because I think he's kind of a cautionary guy. Because in one sense, he puts up good numbers. In another sense, he is prone to have a horrendous game or two. He's a feast or famine guy. Now, his parents just moved to the area, which we've told you. It's true. His girlfriend, I understand, goes to Texas Tech. Texas Tech, I mean, Matt, would they be a player for Sorsby? Would they go bigger than him? Who knows?
Well, I don't know too many guys in the portal that are going to be as productive as Sorsby.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, Lagway's from Houston.
Yep.
Texas Tech could entertain that maybe. Obviously, money's not an issue for them. Miami will be, big spenders at quarterback because they kind of have abandoned high school recruiting at that position, which is interesting.
Yep.
So no, I mean, Sorsby's a running quarterback. I just, Scott Satterfield's offense is so one-dimensional and so reliant on running that the passing game is very vanilla and very basic. So that'd be an interesting transition for a guy like Sorsby. But if he's a quick decision maker and gets the ball out on time and with some accuracy, it's obviously a good fit. But, I think his price tag will be really high. He'll be one of the probably 5 or so highest paid QBs from the portal this year, which I just don't know if that makes sense for Tennessee to do that.
No, I don't think it does. In fact, the more I think about it, and I'm just looking at the guys that are already in. Now, here's what we don't know, because I give Tennessee a lot of credit. They were very pokerish with the Banks firing. They were very pokerish with the hiring of Jim Knowles, which I give them a lot of credit for that. And they're being very pokerish right now. Okay. If you'll notice, there's not much out there.
Okay, I think
deal.
there are 5 quarterbacks that did not transfer in that's been there where they're at in the playoffs.
Okay, so seven are transfers.
Yeah, one from JMU is a backup. He's played meaningful stats with the other guy injured, and he's a transfer. So I guess there have been 7 teams that are using transfer quarterbacks, but Ohio State's Zan was there. Georgia's Gunnar Stockton was there. Texas Tech's Brian Morton was there. Bama's Ty Simpson was there, and I think Marcel Reed at A&M is also one that's been at A&M. So
I think
that's
Sam
5.
started at Bama though, his first year, and then transferred to Ohio State.
Oh, so that's 4. So that's 8 of 12. Jeez Louise, man. Good point on saying that.
The Heisman Trophy, 7 of the last 9 have been transfers, winners.
Wow.
Or something like that, some crazy stat like that.
Have to look that up. And that's what. So these guys in this class might get paid because of what we just unearthed here. The belief in the sport is, and look, Miami made the playoffs doing it this year. You can debate whether or not they belong there. You can debate whether or not they frittered it away. You can debate whether or not. But they made the playoffs with a guy that we knew was a pretty flawed quarterback when he was at Georgia. We knew that. 7 of the last 9 Heisman winners were transfers. Wow. I just kind of look at this team, their needs, what you're trying to accomplish. Matt, if you had to spend, because I was told today, this Sorsby guy, you'd be $3.5 million into that before you say boo. Wouldn't you be better off taking that money? Because this is the conversation they're having internally. Remember, you do not have an unlimited amount of money in this stuff. Wouldn't you be better off taking that money and putting it toward your defense and shoring up your defense?
I would think so, yeah. I mean, because you've already got, I don't know what Faison Brandon's going to get, but he's, obviously a high-ticket guy. McIntyre's, making a good bit. I mean, who knows what, but you've already got money invested in your quarterback room, whether that's the right approach or not. I just don't think you can pay. It's wise to get a high-end guy when you have so many needs, and you're going to have to get 8 to 12 guys on defense that can play, with a couple of those guys being upper level SEC starters. And that's just kind of hard to use so much of your budget on the quarterback position.
Yeah. And that's what you're looking at here.
It's been a plug and play deal in Heupel's offense, which
that's the other thing.
Interesting part.
Yeah, that's right. Because everybody told us that you couldn't do it with the running backs you had on the roster this year, and those guys were good enough. They were good enough to scratch you near the playoffs. I don't know that our fan base looks at next season and goes, hey, man, we're playing for a playoff. I think thinking about it, you'd be almost better off going and getting some 2-year defensive players. Some guys that are more than rentals. Because you've got needs on defense. You've got needs on defense. All over the place. I mean, you need an adjuster. You need a regulator. You need a percolator. I mean, I would take Warren G right now if I could get my hands on him. If he had any eligibility left. But, anyway. All right, on YouTube. Rodney Kraft, you're getting on my nerves right now. Yesterday I blocked a guy who I unblocked and the show is over, the McCarter guy. But, I'm trying to watch these YouTube comments, and this guy's like dominating the comments. And Rodney, no offense to you, but you're annoying the hell out of me right now. So I will block you, Rodney, if you don't stop. Because you don't stop. Ha 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 ha. Matt, that's my new thing now. I'm watching the YouTube because I want to play along, at home, Matt. But I don't want to, what's the term here? But I don't want to get annoyed. Is that a fair thing, Matt, on my part? And I warn these people, before I do it, Matt,
Yeah.
before I do it, oh, no, Rodney says it's your show, I'll go away. Well, you got to be a snowflake, Rodney. Nobody told you to go away. I just told you you're annoying me. You don't have to go away. You don't have to text every 5 seconds, brah. Just relax. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show, man. I mean, I'm allowed to be honest with people, right, Matt? Am I not? We put in our time here. We put in our time. Joshy Boy served his suspension. He's back under wing. I'm just trying to take you under wing here, man. Take a brief time out. We'll come back with more on the other side. So we bring it back right after this.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it. So budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and as always, go Vols!
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340 WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Oh, Basilio, what's happening to you, man? You're hitting your IDs on time. You're getting in and out. You're moving left to right across my device. The content is good. It's next level. Tonight we got Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. It's pretty absolutely outstanding. And we're going to go to the phones. And we're going to do our thing. And we're going to welcome back one of our own, ladies and gentlemen, because Brian Pensky, when he was hired here, he took Lady Vol Soccer and put it on the map. And now he joins, if we break it down scientifically. Brian Pensky, you just won a national championship, man, at Florida State. I don't know how you did that a week ago. That was a week ago, right? 1 week ago. What's the last week been like for you, and has that sunk in that you took a team that was struggling kind of at midseason, and you guys just went on an end of the year, what I want to see Tennessee basketball do it 1 year at the end of the year, just go win 6 straight, man, and win one.
Yes, sir. Nice to be back.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for having me on. It was awesome. The last week has been busy. Our portal closed today. We had a dead period that started yesterday. And so, honestly, I did nothing but recruit last week. We got back on Tuesday from Kansas City, had a recruit in that night, and had a recruit every day until Sunday. So, just been freaking out about next year, to be honest. And now we get a little bit of downtime, but and at some point, enjoy the fact that we won last week.
The fun never ends, does it, man? In this whole transfer portal, insane hyperspace era. We were just talking about, like, with Tennessee football. In all these football programs, these quarterbacks have gotten really, really, really expensive. Do you guys have like a budget, and this is what I got to spend on this position versus that position? Does that happen in your sport?
No, because I mean, we're now things have changed for us a little bit, right? We were in a pretty good place with the collectives and old school NIL. Now we're in the rev share era, and every department operates a little differently in terms of rev share, right? And we all know what drives everything, and that's football. And our department's trying to get our football program, going. And speaking of, right, DJ Lagway went in the portal last night, so there's a lot of talk around here what's going to happen with him. So we still have a little bit of money to play with, and it's not really by position. It's best player available who's going to help us win. And I usually err on the side of attacking players, kids that can score goals, because that's the hardest thing to do in our sport. And then on the world stage, that's the same thing, right? Who makes the most money in this game, right? Around the world, right? The Lionel Messi's of the world, right? The Cristiano Ronaldo's of the world. So that's where I put my money too.
Watching your game the other night, that Stanford team looked absolutely unbeatable.
That first 20 minutes.
Dude, they looked unbeatable. It looked like you guys were going to get shelled, man, in the first half.
Shelled. But Kate O'Keen, man, 18-year-old little girl from Utah, took the starting job from our year and a half long starter. And then we had another kid on our roster who was also a freshman who had won the Golden Glove at the U17 World Cup, played in 2 U17 World Cups. And then we got little old Kate O'Keen from Utah, wins the job and then becomes the star of the show on that Monday night and won the game for us. right? Won the game for us. Absolutely stood on her head and kept us in the game. And that's what, if you're going to win championships, you need a goalkeeper that at some point is going to have to come up with big plays. And she did that. And we actually made a change about 20 minutes into the game in terms of our shape and how we were dealing with them. And that helped us. But if we don't get out of that first 20 minutes, the change does nothing for us.
And she had, in hockey, what they call, she had 5 10-bell saves.
Yeah.
I mean, she
100%.
was over here, over there, leaping.
Yeah.
One got
Flying.
behind her
Flying.
twice. It was crazy.
Flying, right? And now in the modern, game, right, they want goalkeepers to be immaculate with their feet, right, and help the build out and this and that. And I'm still a little old school. Obviously, that matters, but it's what's a goalkeeper's job, man?
Keep it out.
Keep the ball at the back of the net.
Yep.
Keep the ball at the back of the net, right? And so Kate continues to develop her game with her feet, but the kid can freaking fly, man, and she can make saves, and that's what she did.
Brian Pensky's one of our own. We love him here. We celebrate his success on your Tony Basilio show today and this December day, and wish him the best during this great season. And I know he's a family guy as well. Seeing you and your son standing next to each other, man, that was
awesome.
You said priceless.
Awesome.
I love that. Yep, priceless.
Yep. As you're a Northeast guy, right? He plays at Tufts in the NESCAC. And,
oh wow.
He was a little brag on him. He was a captain, and they won the regular season, they won the tournament, and then they won the NCAA championship. And they've got obviously Division III program, but a very good program. That was their 5th national championship too. It was our 5th at FSU, and so much like our players, you live up to the standards that the previous guys had set. And so you want to win at the highest level like the previous guys have, and you don't want to let down the players that have come before you. So that was a big deal for him and his teammates.
Brian, you've won 2 natties now, 2 of their 5 at Florida State.
Can't believe it, man. Can't believe it.
You looked blown away the other night that you guys won that game on the field afterwards.
I thought I was trying to hide that, man.
Were you? I mean, they were so talented, man. They were so talented.
They were good, and they had 8 kids on the field that were on the field 2 years ago when we beat them in the national championship 5-1. So we had 3. Right, and we started 3. We brought another one off the bench.
What a coaching job!
And so they were coming for us, and they were in the Final Four last year too, and lost in the semifinal. So that was their 3rd straight Final Four. They had won the ACC tournament, and they were coming for us. And so it was that, which makes it all the more enjoyable and
what's
amazing.
Supposed to happen. Yeah, when Rihanna Hudson scored, right, in the 87th minute or whatever, it's late. The announcer said this Stanford team, they haven't trailed in 2.5 months. I'm sitting there going, what in the
since their
world,
UCLA
man?
game. Yeah, they lost to UCLA on September 7th. That was the only other time they had been shut out.
Total panic
this fall.
Yeah,
yeah.
Total panic sets in. Hey, this ain't supposed to happen to us. And you could see it on their kids' faces. And I mean, they turned it up. They started playing with it, playing in a desperation mode.
They did.
They did.
And we didn't manage those minutes well. We kind of tried to tweak our shape, but it wasn't clear because it was just everybody's freaking out. And gosh, that was a terrible 3 minutes, but thank freaking goodness.
As Brian Pensky joins, we're celebrating the fact. And one thing about Brian is that, and one of the things I loved about him is that he was always a great friend to our show. He helped so many people in our community whenever he could. He was just a great ambassador for the sport. And,
yes, sir. And I continue to be a Tony Basilio listener. I still get alerts on my phone for your post-game basketball show and your post-game football show.
Oh, no.
Yes.
And you're a sportsman. Hey, he's a sportsman too. And you loved your time. You loved your time in Knoxville, yes?
Loved it, man. Loved it, and still pull for those coaches. And I was like everybody, man. Tony Vitello, what a devastating. And like, I'm now pulling for Elander, but that guy's got an uphill climb, man. Gosh. And then to see Coach Q leading after that, and Frank, like, I mean, I took over for a monster here, right? 4 years ago, right? Mark Krikorian had, in 17 years here, Krikorian was in 15 Elite Eights, 11 Final Fours, won 3 national championships. And so it's hard. And Elander, is obviously he's learned a lot, and he's been with Vitello a long time. But Vitello, I mean, that guy checked a lot of boxes, man. He checked a lot of boxes. And so Elander, I'm pulling for him, but he's got a big job, man. He's got a big job.
Brian Pensky, you speak from whence you know. Once again, congratulations to you on winning it all. What's the weather like in Tallahassee today? Because it's like freezing.
I am sitting in my backyard.
It's not bad here, actually.
It is probably high mid 50s, but she'll be touching 63, 65.
That ain't bad.
Heaven.
That's not
it's
bad.
Heaven.
That ain't bad.
It's heaven. Yeah.
No, bro. Knoxville's heaven.
I know it is. And it's heaven part 2.
Thank you, brother. Hey, congratulations and Merry Christmas to you and your family, man. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you having me on. All right, Tony.
You're my man. Hey, much love.
Back at you.
We'll get you on for some World Cup stuff.
Oh, I love it. Sounds good. Let's do it.
What do you think of the draw? U.S. draw?
Favorable. 100%. I mean, I think they're going to do all right. Pochettino, a little slow out of the gate, but it seems to all be measured. And I think you want to go this path as opposed to the reverse, right? I mean, let's face it. What are the expectations right now?
I wonder how sharp you. Well, that's true. I wonder how sharp you can be when you don't have to qualify. That's just my. That's my thing, right?
Yeah.
Is that a fair thing to say?
Sure. I mean, might be real. It's certainly, something that you just don't have to worry about, right? And so your eyes are just on, the summertime of 26 and not on have to win now, right? And there's value in that, right? And at the end of the day, all the guys that opted out last summer or this or that.
Yes.
I mean, they got an opportunity to play in a World Cup.
I would say
this summer. So who's not going to be available and trying to fly on all cylinders when the time is right?
Brian Pensky, much love to you. Appreciate you, brother.
Back at you.
You the man. Congratulations on the national championship.
Thank you, Tony. Happy holidays. Appreciate you having me on as always.
Love, brother. My best to your family.
Thank you.
The great Brian Pensky one more time. Hey, Matt, how about him in the middle of that, pivoting on Tony Vols leaving and just the enormous challenge? I was thinking about Elander over the weekend when Tony Vols came back and was doing his thing, showing up with the orange Santa suit on. People have seen that. And that was for a local advertising agency. And then he took that money and donated it, I know, to one of his great causes. And then he, Saturday, did a thing down at the Sanson Sports Park for the Emerald Youth, which is something that Tony was involved with basically his whole time here. And now I know he's down at Winter Ball, he told me. But this Elander guy has... This Elander guy has a huge challenge on his hands, Matt. Huge.
No, he does. It's an impossible job to replace Tony Vitello, but I think being the right-hand man makes I think makes it easier for him because he knows he's not Vitello and he doesn't have to be Vitello. He just has to be himself.
Yep.
And I think it's an easier transition for him than it would have been for some outside hire to try to replace what Vitello brought, because you're never going to replace all of that, but you can replace as much of it on the field as possible with a guy like Elander. You just hope some of those intangibles and some of the it factor that Vitello had that somehow found its way onto his team in clutch moments continues.
People are like,
he's got a loaded team to help him do it, though.
No doubt, Brian. They got a loaded team the next couple of years. No doubt about it, man.
It won't be for lack of players.
Oh, no. But what this guy cannot afford to have is a Texas A&M-like start. The early season for them, they've got to hit the ground running and kind of be cohesive and sort of be in the moment and sort of get it right from the very beginning. You feel me on that, Matt? They above all, need a very good, clean start to the season.
Yeah, they need the. Yeah, they need a good start. Luckily, they don't play a very challenging, non-conference schedule at home besides the one tournament, early season tournament. So
Nichols is going to feel this.
Well, Tony, I like Tony because Tony knows how to find some beaters. In the car business, they call those cars beaters. Like I drive beaters. My son Anthony drives a beater around. I'm a beater guy. Well, clip that. But
my favorite was bringing in all these hoopties and then complaining about the 10-run rule. I love that.
We're beating people like
no 10-run rule in the NL West now.
When they were Matt, when they had that one game with Rhode Island, and that was in the pimp outfit days, okay? When it wasn't easy, because you got trying anyway. So when Tony. They had the whole leather coat or the fur coat going and the whole shebang. Matt, they were beating that Rhode Island team like 35-1, and somebody hit a home run, and they came out and put the hat on him, and I'm going, this here is a little excessive, and I'm all for the celebrating,
Hey, if you hit a home run, you get the fur coat and daddy hat. You never know if you're going to hit another one.
Yes.
Is that the weekend where it snowed 5 inches one day?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're out there in the snow, Brian. You talk about Evan Russell and those clowns committing to the bit. I think it was Lipscomb that hit a home run. Or no, Lipscomb was one of the guys coming out, and it was like one of the bench players that hit a home run because at that point the lineup's emptied. And it's like the 27th or 28th run. I'm not making that up. And they're out there celebrating like it's the 7th game of the World Series. And I'm going, I think these guys are going to rub a lot of people in this league the wrong way. And that was the team that took off. So that was crazy. So anyway, it was good to catch up with him. So fun stuff. All right, let's get back to our conversation about football here. Matt, what do you make of this quarterback, the kid that I want from Old Dominion? And I don't know what his asking price is going to be. I don't pretend to know what his asking price is going to be. But what do you make of this kid from Old Dominion, Matt?
I think he's a guy worth looking at and worth seeing, what kind of fit he would be in this offense. And try to get him on a visit if they obviously if they want to bring in a quarterback like him, he'd be a good option. Not going to be overly expensive like some of the other higher price names we've talked about, but anybody that's been productive in college, even if it's at a smaller level, can translate into this offense really well. You saw, Aguilar came from Appalachian State.
Proved it. He proved it. Yeah. And I bet
this would be a guy you'd have a spring with whoever you bring in as well.
And I would use Aguilar in this whoever I'm going to target in their recruitment. Look, you could go to the 1AA level. You could go to Group of 5 level, and find somebody, and you don't have to break the bank on them. It's a conclusion I'm coming to. Aguilar's pretty good. He was good enough. The thing about the Sorsby guy, and this is just one of my concerns as I look into him, when he would have a stinker game, Matt, he could really suck. Like, I'm talking stink bomb game. He's very capable of stink bomb games. Yes or no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but usually in those games that they get behind and they have to start throwing the ball, and that offense he played in just isn't conducive to be pass happy. But obviously he's, a part of that why they got down. But yeah, I just think that guy's will be too expensive.
Yeah.
For what Tennessee kind of needs and really what they want.
I'm hearing Tennessee's got sticker shock at how expensive this has gotten all of a sudden. Now look, we had a guest last week tell us that they were getting ready to pay the starting quarterback at Illinois last year when they were desperate, north of $2 million, which tracks. He chose to stay there. They built a big campaign around it. That kid's a hero for life. That kid will never have to buy a brewski the rest of his life. But I'm sitting here wondering, and I think we should wonder aloud, and I just want your thoughts on this at 865-200-5402. Do you believe that you're better off going and getting the high-ticket quarterback with this particular team, or are you better off going and getting the bridge quarterback? Now, 7 of the 12 teams that are in the playoffs. No, I'm sorry, 8 of the 12 teams, because we checked we checked it, and Matt caught that Ohio State's quarterback is in fact a transfer from Alabama. So 8 of the 12 quarterbacks currently in the playoffs are transfer quarterbacks. It's a transfer quarterback game. Last year, Ohio State won the national championship with a transfer quarterback that a lot of people thought was a weak link for him, who played essentially flawless football, I would say, in their run. He kind of took off last year. Somebody said on here, and I haven't looked it up because I'm not really a big Heisman Trophy guy, but this does seem to make sense on its face, that Bryce Young is the last homegrown quarterback to win a Heisman Trophy. Bryce Young's the last one. Would that track with you guys? Off the top of your heads, your alleged minds? Is that tracking for you all?
I haven't kept up with the Heisman.
Yeah, I'm not a Heisman guy.
Heisman's for casuals.
Yeah, I'm not a Heisman guy.
Brian, does that track though?
Does it track?
Yeah, it sounds right. I think it goes back. They said like 7 out of the last 9 have transferred from somewhere else. Didn't begin their career there. So, does Tennessee even have a guy win the Heisman who transferred from here somewhere else and won it somewhere else? They could almost claim that, couldn't they?
Yeah,
but I don't think even that's the case.
Timothy McGee in a super chat says, Buddy Stevens from Last Chance U has a similar offense as Heupel. You could even go the JUCO route. Look, I'm not trying to be funny here. The kid at Old Dominion would be a really nice player here. I mean, he looks like a guy. First of all, he can run. Secondly, their team executes inside the red zone, if you go look the numbers up. Thirdly, he's a gamer. Fourthly, he can run.
Tomorrow night at 5, they play in the Orlando Bowl. You can see him play if he's playing.
Woot, freaking woot.
I assume he's playing, right?
Woot, freaking woot.
Yeah, they're a 6-point underdog.
He hasn't opted out,
they're one of my best bets to cover
as
an underdog.
Briny Boy Hartman speaking it into existence after Matt said Heisman's are for casuals, so tell us about it. Hey, Matt, I heard what you did there, you clown.
They're playing South Florida, ironically, who's being quarterbacked by Gaston Moore.
Shout out Buddy Stevens.
There's some ironic things there.
How about that, Matt? How about if the two ships are meeting in the night? How about if it's meant to be? How about if Gas Pipe and Colton Joseph? By the way, we had pretty good success with our last Colton that came out of the portal. And let's not forget Colton Jumper. Nor Dasher, nor Dancer, nor Prancer, nor Vixen.
Was he a portal? Did he transfer
nor Comet,
in?
Nor Colton, nor Donner, nor Blitzen. Huh?
Did Colton Jumper transfer from somewhere?
Briny Boy, did you just give us the line in that game?
Yeah. Old Dominion's a 6-point underdog.
Vols Deep said, Matt, why don't we transfer our second team guy to the first team, and there your problem solved? Why is GMAC not getting the run here in the offseason, Matt? What do you think gives with that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess they just don't think he's ready, and physically he obviously doesn't look ready. But
yes,
I don't know what their projection, where the staff use him in evals right now. And then Brandon, obviously, you probably don't want to throw him out there.
Yes,
game one as your starter, but I don't know. Maybe they view McIntyre as a guy that's capable of running the offense. Next year, who knows? Maybe you swing and miss on a few guys in the portal, and you just decide to hold pat with what you've got, and I guess you have to bring in at least a body
position statement, Matt. It's not worth spending $4 million for this football team for a quarterback. Position statement. They have way too many other needs, right?
Yeah, you've probably got $4 million invested in the two you've already got. So I mean, look at it from the budget part of it. It'd be really difficult to invest more for a high ticket guy, and you don't necessarily need a high ticket guy.
He's got another good point.
You have to have the right guy, which we can question. But
yep. I love the ODU guy. Now, we'll watch him tomorrow night, watch him throw up a damn stinker, and we're on here ripping him. Maybe we'll do like a Garza Law fifth quarter ODU fan reaction tomorrow night. And he'll have like an odious display. Dave is becoming an irritant over in the YouTube comments. Is that a surprise to you, Matt, that Dave might get a warning here as being an irritant? Does that surprise you?
No, not really.
And I quote, sticker shock is the word for the day. Tony has a new word. Tony's already making excuses for Tennessee football next year. Sticker shock. Dave, you're annoying. You're annoying. But I love that ODU quarterback, I'm telling you. Our last quarterback, same league, Bri? Are they Sunbelters?
Yeah, ODU is in the same league with Appalachian State.
Let's freaking go, man. Let's go get us a Sunbelt. Let's go get us a Sunbelt Colton. Sunbelt Colty. I agree with Matt. I don't want the guy from Florida. But it would be funny to take Florida's rubbish. Now, I would tell you this. If the guy from Florida called Josh Heupel and said, I want to resurrect my career, and I'll take like $2 million to come do it, in other words, below market value, I would think about it, but I don't think I would do it because the guy, the biggest ability is availability, and the guy's available half the time. I mean, the guy's, no offense to him, but he just doesn't hold up. So I understand that Tennessee and a lot of programs around college football are very blown away by how expensive this quarterback market's gotten. And it's happened very quickly. If you remember, Nyko 99 1 year ago, Matt wanted how much money? Let's just turn the clock back. Does anybody remember? I think it was Nico 99. I think it was $2 million. Is that right? What his family wanted?
$4 million.
No.
A year or something like that.
No.
He wanted more than he was getting.
No. He wanted like $2 million last year because he was going to jump. If you remember, they made up something of Miami offering him 2.5 and Tennessee gave him like 1. I mean, it was no. Anyway, here's the point. Nico right now, if he would have come out last year in today's market, when I tell you that people are telling me this Sorsby guy is going to be paid north of $4 million, if that Sorsby guy is a $4 million quarterback, right? What was Nico 1 year ago, guys? Okay, somebody told me Nico was making, it was $3 million for Miami. So let's say Nico, they made the lie up that he was going to make north of $3 million. That's what it was. Because he went to UCLA for like $1 million. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, any of us have ever seen. You talk about a guy that needed an agent. A drink and a quick decision, as the She's Gone lyric goes. Matt, Nico right now, if he was gonna make 2.4 last year, right? What would Nico be worth in today's free agent market before people saw him at UCLA coming out of that playoff game last year?
I'd say at minimum $3 million, probably maybe up to 3.5, because you could still sell the upside and potential and the fact that he was a first-year starter of a playoff team.
And this Sorsby guy, who's made how many playoff appearances at Cincinnati? None. How many times they gotten close? None. They're saying $4 to $5 million for him, just like that, overnight. The guy at
where did he come to Cincinnati from?
The guy at Arizona. You have Google.
He was originally at
Indiana. That's right.
The guy at Arizona State. Everybody wants. You better dig deep. Timothy McGee, Super Chat. Why can't Heupel develop the quarterbacks we have? The days of Manning, Clausen, and EA where they all started as freshmen. What do you say to that, Matt? I don't think the plan was for any of those guys to start at freshmen. It's just the way it worked out. If you'll go back to it, Ainge's freshman year, Leak was the quarterback, but he couldn't play in preseason, and they jumped over him.
Jerry Colquitt got hurt. That's why Manning played his freshman year.
Yeah, or if Jerry Colquitt didn't get hurt, Manning wouldn't have gotten on the field as a freshman. And back then, freshmen didn't play, and that was 30 years ago. And then the third one that you brought up was Clausen. Clausen played after Joey. You guys help me out here. Joey Matthews and A.J. Suggs. And A.J. Suggs started that season. He was third.
Yeah.
So that was not.
Well, he might have started had he not gotten hurt in spring, because he was one of the first to be an early enrollee when it was like extremely rare.
Good catch. I don't remember.
Again,
that.
it's rare to do that, but McIntyre's been here a year.
Yep.
So I don't know. It'd be curious to know what the staff's kind of outlook on McIntyre is, if they view him as a guy that they could potentially put out there game one.
Jeremy Sanders says, you guys are proving my point even further. Don't pay high school kids because they're going to transfer anyway for more money when you don't play them. Matt said it earlier. Miami has decided, and there are some other programs out there, if you look at what they're doing with quarterbacks, that have decided, why bother? Oregon's another one. We're just going to go get the next guy available. And see, Oregon's so sneaky that you would have thought, oh, they've grown this guy. No, he was a 5-star kid that signed with UCLA. It wasn't that long ago when UCLA could play for a quarterback like him. Oregon scooped him up like immediately. And the kid from Oregon went to Cal this year, where a lot of people think, oh my gosh, how did Cal end up with a freshman quarterback? Well, no, he's a transfer who's probably going to transfer again. That guy's a great player. But Matt brings up a great point when it comes to, and I want to talk about this for our time together here today. Does Tennessee need to get a high-ticket quarterback, or could they get by with a Joey Aguilar, who's not a high-ticket guy? Joey Aguilar was a scrap heap guy. And I'm not dissing him, but he was a, yes or no, Matt, a scrap heap guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a little bit above that, but I mean, from when Tennessee got him, yeah, him and the Redcliffe guy from BYU, who ironically is in the playoffs with Tulane.
Another one, yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a high profile guy in the portal, no, but he was going to be a Power 4 starter.
And here's the thing.
Which, again, you can find a guy that can be serviceable. I don't know if you can find if you find an average Power 4 starter, which is kind of what maybe Aguilar could have been, and you put him in Heupel's offense, you can have really good results. So I do think you can find guys like that. I mean, Auburn had that. They brought Jackson Arnold in and had the other their backup. They brought in Ashton Daniels. I think had been a starter at Stanford. So you can bring in two portal guys. You can bring in a guy. I mean, Trinidad Chambliss was basically a throwaway. He was a scrap heap guy that Ole Miss got.
There you go.
And he wasn't good. He wasn't supposed to start for them. I mean, he was going to be the backup to the.
That come from Butch's alma mater, Ferris State.
Yeah. Hey, Ferris State had a nice player. I saw. You're right. Here's the thing. That's where that kid came from, Ferris State. That's right. Here's the other thing, though, guys. I look at it. And I say, and it's kind of like Alan's saying over here, which is accurate. You give this Colton Joseph kid a chance. That's a guy, you're the highest level he's ever played at. It's like Bobby Wallace said to us a couple weeks ago down there at Tennessee Tech. He said, I don't want guys that were in Division I football. I don't want a guy that looks in my weight room and goes, this thing sucks. I want a guy that was in a Division III weight room or an NIA weight room, and he looks at my stuff and goes, man, look at God, I'm so glad to be here. That Joseph guy, you bring a guy like that to a I'm telling you that guy can play. But anyway, it's an interesting discussion to have. As long as you got quarterback free agency, you're almost tilting at windmills playing around with high school guys unless you got Peyton Manning on your campus. Now, that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks the way 8 of the 12 teams that are in the thing. Or is it the case that this year you look at your football team and you say, you know what? That's not what we need this year. We need defensive players. Because Tim Banks was such a great, prolific recruiter during his time here that we literally have needs at every position on defense. Continue. We'll kick it around after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
college football fans. Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our trials last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
The season of giving reminds us of what truly matters, community and connection. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. As the year closes, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you, my Basilio family clients. Thank you for trusting me with your most important decisions. Whether it was finding your first home or successfully closing a chapter, your trust means everything. I look forward to new and continued relationships through the new year, and feel free to reach out to me at 865-694-5904 or nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and of course, go Vols!
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit ConnectSeal.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. ConnectSeal, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Sorry about that, y'all. I got sidetracked. I'm filling out a Christmas card from my brother Steve. We're sending him up a package. I've talked about him from time to time on here. He's my special needs brother. He called last night. It's pretty funny. He wanted to know where his cookies were. Or no. So we told him we were going to bake him cookies. And then he says to me, he says, how do you put it? A Tennessee Christmas from Tennessee. Because I guess that made it real for him that we were baking cookies for him. I sent him up a package yesterday, and I told him he had another one coming. But then he said, he asked yesterday if the cookies were in his package, and he asked Laura last night. We had him on speaker, and he was not accepting the fact that his Christmas cookies were not made. So she got so shamed into it that immediately she got up and started making the guys Christmas cookies. Because at one point he says to me, 5 more shipping days till Christmas. I mean, my brother last night was not, and I mean not going for it. Let's go to the phones. So I got caught there filling out a card. But let's go back to our phones, and we get our next call in. Hello and welcome in. You're on our Tuesday edition. Sans John Adams, who will be here on Thursday. Hi, you're on the air.
How are my French compatriots doing today?
W. Lynn, welcome in, buddy.
Merry Christmas to your brother Steve from me, Tony.
Thank you, my friend.
I've got a basketball and a football comment to make.
Hit it.
I take umbrage to the News Sentinel today, and this is no offense to John Adams. Love John Adams. No offense to the Lady Vols. I love Lady Vols. Everybody knows that listens to this show. I pull for the Lady Vols. But the front page of the News Sentinel today, and I know I get a paper, and a lot of people don't, but the parents and grandparents of some of our future recruits might know this. We're playing the biggest December basketball game that I can remember in a long time. For seeding, for strength of non-conference schedule, whatever you want to call it. The front page of the News Sentinel has 50% of the page taken up by a Lady Vol article about people that improved over a baby bird clubbing of some team we could have beat by 100 points. The article on Brown being our starter, Dwayne Brown, and the Louisville game is only 15% of the front page.
Mike Wilson getting no respect. And Bruce Hornsby sung a song about that, or sang a song. It's called That's Just the Way It Is. And some things will never change, W. Lynn.
And the picture they have of Dwayne Brown in a game is a size slightly bigger than a postage stamp.
You know, I tried to explain this to Bino, who's hosted Lady Vol basketball overtime all these years, that there's just been a political tilt going on. But W. Lynn, you're right. You are speaking the truth, man. And I've spoken the truth down through the years. It doesn't have the same following. It's not the same sport. It doesn't draw the same crowds. It doesn't get the same kind of post-game appeal. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But hey,
another thing, though.
I'll say this for it, though. I'll say this for it. It does check a lot of boxes.
There's an article, though, also about the resignation of a Maryville high school coach.
Yes.
And who might replace him.
And I want to wish him well. Great man.
That
Derek
takes
Hunt's
up
a great
three
man.
times more space in the first 3 pages than an article about Tennessee basketball.
Oh!
And the picture they have of Brown you could take the headshot on the front page of Josh Heupel and John Adams, and their headshots combined looks like a giant compared to his body in the picture.
Matt, what is your do you enjoy that about the News Sentinel down through the years? The shoving of that down my throat.
I don't see the physical copy of it unless I go to my parents' house. I read it on the online subscription, so I don't really see how the layout is.
W. Lynn, I can't tell you the last time. Let me think. The last time I held a newspaper in my hand. I'm trying to think of the last time I've held – because I love newspapers. You know, we were trying to explain to our kids the other day how on Black Friday, like 20 years ago, how thick that newspaper used to be.
Oh, yeah.
Is it still that thick, W. Lynn, or is it not like it used to be?
It's that thick on Sunday only, but the Sunday sports page is horrible now. It's not like it used to be either.
The Sunday sports page, I loved getting my newspapers, though. I loved the smell of the newspaper. I loved getting the ink on my hands. I
write all over them. I underline things.
Yep. I used to see. I used to see Mike Keith coming in and out of Books A Million on Sunday, because we would go there and get like the New York Times and go to get like the this is before the internet. You would go and get the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Right.
You would get those papers and read them if you were doing a talk show in the Southeast.
I used to get them anyhow. Like when we beat, Miami in the Sugar Bowl, I found a Miami paper somewhere.
There you go. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that.
But the final thing about basketball is there are plenty of students in the Knox metro area that can get in that stadium tonight. And we gotta rock the house tonight. And Brian Hartman will tell you we got to be the sixth man. This is a big, big game tonight.
Huge game. And this is a huge game. And, I pushed back on Nega Dave when he told me it was a huge game for seeding, but he was right. This is a critical basketball game for this team tonight. Critical basketball game.
And moving on to our needs in football, amen to the fact that we need defensive football players. All you have to do is look at 2024, when we had a guy named Nico at quarterback, and we went 10-2. We had a quarterback who looked more at the sideline than he did downfield during a play. We had a quarterback who clapped more than some of the people in the luxury wine and cheese section. And we still went 10-2, and we went to the playoffs because we had a great defense.
Matt, that is true, isn't it? That is the truth. That is the truth. I'm not so sure Oklahoma didn't do that this year. I'm not so sure that isn't the truth.
No, that's exactly what Oklahoma did this year.
Yeah,
so
why would you take your money
to make? But yeah, there's a baseline minimum that you have to be defensively to be, a playoff team out of the SEC, and we certainly weren't close to it this year. Now you've got to, I mean, no matter how good your offense is, you've got to be able to play a little bit of defense. You got to be like top 30, top 35. I mean, even like 2019 LSU was like top 30-ish.
And you got to hold people to field goals sometimes, and you can't give up touchdowns. And we couldn't stop anybody this year that meant anything in a game that meant something. And so we got to get some defensive players. There's an article in here also, Tony, about 4 quarterbacks we're looking at, and it doesn't mention anybody from the mighty Monarchs of Old Dominion in this article.
The guy from the Monarchs, what Adam talks about there is the high ticket guys. I'm telling you, the guy from the Monarchs would be a guy worth looking into. Really, really clutch football player, good player, and would fit the offense.
We got we got a great guy now who's at Appalachian State.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know it. The Monarchs are 1A football.
Yes, they're in the Sun Belt. That's correct.
Yeah, they're in there like with Appalachian State. So, hey, if he's the best choice, I say go for it. But we have got to get defensive players somehow, some way.
Thank you, my brother. Good talking to you. I want some. My number one priority, Matt, is 2 safeties because we need the regulator back there. What was it called, Brian? What's that position, that free safety? See if Brian pays attention. The adjuster, Brian. You better get the technology. You better get with the lingo here.
You know,
he sets
hard.
the defense.
Going back to newspapers.
Yeah.
I'm so used to reading something on a screen that's lit up that I find reading newspapers sort of harder and more tiresome than it used to be. It's not as easy as it once was.
Colton Joseph of Old Dominion has 2. Am I selling for his comment, Matt? Yes or no? Colton Joseph of Old Dominion has 2 years of eligibility remaining, for those wondering. He recently entered the transfer portal, and according to what I'm reading here, is not going to play. He's not playing in the. Let's see here. Transfer portal. Okay, let's see here. Will not play in the upcoming bowl game. He said goodbye to their fan base. So that sucks. We don't get to see him tomorrow night, Bri. 2 backup quarterbacks tomorrow in the Cure Bowl. He had
crap on that.
20 starts, threw for 4,251 yards, 32 touchdowns. And then he ran for another 1,654 yards and 24 TDs on the ground. And he is in the portal. Question is, and nobody knows this, right? How expensive is a guy like that? Because there will be a point where a guy like that gets worth not playing with. That will come. I didn't do it. Until you get collective bargaining, you're going to pay out the rear end for these guys to the point where you got a silly sport and you're going to turn people off. But what you're showing these billionaires is that crime pays. 8 of the 12 SEC, 8 of the 12 teams in the playoffs in college football have transfer quarterbacks. That's 2/3. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tennessee.
Hey, welcome in.
Yeah, man. Crime pays. Ask Connor Stallions, right?
Interesting.
Interesting. As far as who you gonna get at quarterback? Look, you got to fix the defense first. My thing is that you could take, and W. Lynn already said it. You know, you got to the playoffs last year with a defense that was solid and a quarterback that was just a guy.
Yep.
The funny thing is that Heupel treated him like he was the 5-star commodity and paid him through the nose. Well, the problem with that is you do that and you treat him like he's this number 1 draft pick and you give him all the leverage as Heupel did, you can wind up in exactly that situation again. Seems like we'd have learned a lesson there.
Now, who are you referencing?
I'm talking about Nico.
Oh.
I'm talking about Nico. You can't give one guy that much leverage. That one quarterback. Listen, if you've got the defense and the offense built, then you can take a guy like a Gunnar Stockton. You can take just a regular guy and you can go out and win some games. And to Aguilar's credit, I think I've said this, I think he's the difference between winning 8 games and winning 5 games this year. No, because if you had to roll out there with Nico, it would have been a disaster of a season. It might have been UCLA all over again.
Yeah, I think that's look. I think the thing too to keep in mind when you talk about the Tennessee-Oklahoma comparison is Oklahoma had Mateer what guys 3/4 of the year and still made the playoffs. They missed him. He was missing, and I'm not sure he's playing at 100% now. But he made enough plays against us. And their defense was really good against us and really good against Alabama.
I was going to say, they showed up when it mattered, and that carried them. And we've said it before, that defense will travel. Last thing on the way out, just something silly. Since we've talked about silly, I believe we need like a Christmas album, the Christmas carols from Negative, like the 12 Days of Christmas by Negative. Here comes Negative, here comes Negative. we could put together an entire album of Christmas carols to bring cheer to the Christmas season.
Maybe have Negative sing it.
Yeah. And there's got to. I think I would quit before I got to 12. I don't know if I could make it the full 12 days of Negative, but probably the first couple of days.
Give me a first day. What's the first day in Negative? What's he say? And maybe Brian can sing it.
The first call to Tony B. First call to Tony B.
On the first day of Christmas. Sing it, Brian, and say an open line for Tony B. Sing it, Brian. Negative's voice.
First day of Christmas. Negative gave to me an open line from Tony B.
Thank you. You're a damn simpleton. 865-200-5402. Negative, you are a gong. I like Negative's bit he did a couple weeks ago where he resigned because Negative, that's pretty next level. Because we've had some swerves on here and some face changes and some heel turns and all that stuff, but Negative calls in and he says, I've resigned from ever talking about this Tennessee basketball team. The next post-game show, he's the second caller. I mean, you talk about gotta have it. Where's Spike Lee when you need him? When he was Mars Blackmun. I do want to say that the ebullient and talented William Pattison, ladies and gentlemen, drops it like it's hot on Fan Run Radio coming up. We'll stay here and kick it around for a little bit. I don't know for how long because we're doing post-game stuff tonight. But here's the great William Pattison.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Damn, guys, that was a quick 2 hours. Matt, that felt quick to you?
You had... That
feel quick to you, Dave? I mean, Dave. Matt?
Jesus. Yeah, it did. It went by quick.
Woo!
Especially...
had a running clock that last hour.
Woo!
You talked about what you opened up the show with, the Dixie Love, to talk about.
Fresh my memory, because Negative...
Bino's, been that long since he's had
Oh, my gosh. We don't want to talk about that, but... Negative, you got a coach on your mind. You could really write a song. You could really write some songs about Negative. Negative says, I can't believe the Louisville line has moved to +3. Matt, what are the gamblers thinking, do you think, tonight with this play? Why is the line moved like that? It's moved like 4.5 points since it opened yesterday.
I'm not sure. It's a good question. I guess it's a desperation spot for Tennessee. They've got kind of a longer time to scout and game plan, which typically favors Barnes. They do really well off the long rest in spots like this. You're playing at home.
Yes.
So I'm kind of curious why it's moved that much. Also, I don't know if Louisville has any injury concerns or anything, but
they don't.
No. So I'm curious about why it would move that much overnight as well.
Desperate team, Rick Barnes' track record, Tennessee against long ball teams, and the Vols' ability inside to pound these guys, which our guest earlier was talking about. That's one of Louisville's concerns. They get kind of roughed up in this one because they have a team built to play the way they want to play, and Tennessee has a team that's not built to play that Louisville wants to play. If Louisville forces Tennessee into their game, Matt, we could get blowed out. Me and Lee were texting each other about this earlier. There is a path where Tennessee gets kind of whacked in this game tonight. If they try to play that game and get pulled into it, you could get really whacked tonight.
Yeah, play up tempo.
Yeah.
Because they have more scores.
Yes.
And obviously trading 2 points for threes is not a great recipe.
No. So the home crowd has to be in it. We've got to.
This is kind of where.
Go ahead, Brian.
You miss a Meshack sort of
sure.
in a game like this, because
sure.
he sort of is he kind of is what shut Alabama down or helped shut them down the last couple of times they played them.
The problem
in a game like this,
the problem with us this year is, in this losing streak especially, is you've been giving up easy points. You cannot do that tonight. Can't let this team get out while creating none of your own. You're not going to win games like that. I mean, these games, and right now Tennessee's got a team where the parts just for whatever reason don't fit together. It doesn't mean they won't. Doesn't mean they won't discover some things. It doesn't mean they won't come to some conclusions and fool around with some combinations. What do you guys think of Dwayne Brown getting the start? Then we go back to the phones. Does that surprise you guys, or you think the plan is to introduce Brown, let him play, and then turn the game over to Carey?
Yeah, I think it probably has more to do with Carey and kind of being a motivational tool for him.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly the better player and has had some really good games.
Yeah.
I assume it's, and maybe he likes coming off the bench more. You occasionally have guys like that. Gainey was really good at that last year, so it's probably more towards Carey, motivating him or making sure he's in the right role. But it was kind of curious to see, but we'll see how those guys kind of function in a game like this, because I just don't know if you can play two bigs for long stretches in this game. That's, again, goes back to who dictates the style of game. If you can get them in a half-court game where you can, work them inside, that certainly favors Tennessee. But you got to keep them from running, and that's, again, been a kind of quietly becoming a bigger concern is our transition defense, and something that could get exposed tonight.
Yeah, they let this team run on them, and they don't get any quality baskets, and they get pulled into an up-and-down game. They'll get hammered tonight. We don't have a team to play that game. Not with anybody. The good thing is, in the Barnes era, we've taken these 5-out teams, turned them inside out, dared them to drive, driven them off the three-point line, and forced them to shoot mid-range shots. And those teams hate doing that. These 3-for-2 teams. We've been pretty damn good against these guys. Now, every once in a while, even in the Barnes era, we'll get on the wrong side of one of these things. Everybody gets whacked every once in a while. But it's interesting that Tennessee will not go off as an underdog in their building. We have it in the blog today that the numbers are astronomical in terms of how many times Tennessee's been a home dog. That just speaks to the fact that under Rick Barnes, Tennessee has been a pillar of consistency. But Brian brought a great point up with Meshack. This Tennessee team this year just doesn't have it defensively to this point. I mean, I'm just going to say that out loud. They don't look sound defensively to me. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, one thing's for sure, Matt. This Tennessee team has not one of these ones that's going to be accused of peaking in November and December. Unless, of course, from the Houston win, this team goes on and loses 9 games in a row or something, which is not going to happen, by the way. But I don't think anybody's going to blame these guys of peaking in November. I still think they play their best
certainly
basketball.
Not an issue with this team.
No.
Absolutely.
Back to the
phones.
Yeah,
the team 2 years ago was like that. They lost 3 straight, I think.
That's right.
With Connect.
Of course, they had Dalton Connect, and boy, what a weapon he was. Let's go back to our phones and get our next call in. Hi and welcome on our overtime segment. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Matt. Brian. It's Taylor. How you guys doing? Merry Christmas to your brother, Steve. Tony, there's something about special needs adults and children. They have huge hearts. They're genuine. And, boy, you feel their love and you know where you stand with them, don't you?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, I've got a still have a scar on the top of my head from when my brother's 4 years older than me. I was 7 years old, and he wanted to ride our one bike we had. We didn't come from much. And he wanted to ride the one bicycle that we had, and I was teasing him with the bike and riding up and down. And I know that would really surprise you, Taylor. I was like mocking and teasing him. And he grabbed my head from the, he grabbed my head from like the right side of my head and bulldogged me right to the pavement and cut my head wide open to the point where I needed 4 stitches to close my gaping wound in my head. And I still have a scar up there to this day. And as my hairline receded, I started to see it, Taylor, more and more. And now every day when I look in the mirror, I'm reminded of me being a smartass toward my brother Steve.
I bet Steve is a character. There's no doubt about it.
He's classic now.
No doubt. Tony, I do have a bone to pick with you, and I want to get Matt's opinion.
Interesting.
Matt, without any context, without saying any type of, just putting any context to it, Tony a couple of weeks ago said that Diego Pavia is our Drew Gilbert. And I was slightly offended by that, and I figured you probably would be too. And here's where I'm coming. On the field, okay, yeah, they both played with passion, fire, and absolutely lots of flair, lots of swagger. But come on, Tony, off the field, there's zero comparison. Gilbert has more class in his pinky than Diego and that entire family have in their entire bodies. And, Tony, you've interviewed Mrs. Gilbert, and she's nothing but class. I'm sure that whole family is. And I just can't stand the fact that that Diego Pavia was mentioned in the same sentence as the esteemed Drew Gilbert. Matt, what do you think about that?
No, I think it's a very silly comparison. And it is kind of a disservice to Drew Gilbert. Diego Pavia is never going to play in the NFL, not going to be a first-round pick. There are some similarities in just what they bring on the field. But Diego Pavia was all about himself. You saw that post-game here. He talked about the Heisman. It wasn't about the playoffs. You saw how he acted when he finished runner-up for the Heisman over the weekend.
Gilbert, guys, went into business for himself in that Notre Dame series. No offense. I don't know if you guys were watching that. He didn't.
He was that way all year, though.
Okay, well, he didn't. He didn't go into business
for that. And what Gilbert helped establish in that locker room has carried over, and they won a national title 2 years later. Diego Pavia's impact on Vandy is done after the Reliquest.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Let's watch it play out.
Yeah, their entire team's built around him.
You guys don't know. He might have started the fire there, like Tony Vols started the fire here. We don't know that. I don't know.
Diego Pavia is a one-hit wonder. Vanderbilt will be an afterthought next season.
Hey, you guys are trying to act like Drew Gilbert's Mother Teresa. I heard the guy MF people running around the bases. Come on, guys.
Tony, off the field.
What do you mean off the field? What is off the field? What is
off the field? He was a gentleman and a scholar. He would never do the crap that Diego Pavia does. You know that.
He was MFing pitchers running around the bases. Come on now.
Yeah, that whole team was out of control, and he was the ringleader. But that helped establish the winning culture that's continued on since then.
I'm not. And Pavia.
Tony, here's the reality. He was Mr. Swag on the field.
The Drew Gilbert sisters get arrested at
I'm not talking about his family. I'm talking about Pavia and Drew Gilbert having a similar impact.
Well, is Vandy going to win a national title in football? Tennessee did it 2 years. I'll give you 5 years.
No, they're not even going to make a playoff. But
okay,
who knows? Maybe he raised the level of their ball club. Who knows?
Pavia was more worried about him being invited to New York than making a playoff.
Exactly.
I don't think Drew Gilbert was that self-driven.
Guys,
no, he was an elite
Gilbert,
locker room guy.
I love him.
Created a winning culture.
I love him. I'm for him, not against him.
Lasted after he left.
He went into
Pavia built is not going to last. They're done.
Guys, he went into business for himself against Notre Dame. It's the truth. I didn't do it.
Negative.
Yeah, he did.
Absolutely not.
Established that winning
culture. He did, Taylor.
That carried that team and has been there.
Taylor, he did. Admit it. It's okay. He went into business.
No.
Taylor won't admit it. Taylor won't admit it. No, Taylor won't admit it.
No, he simply let a horrifically bad call, and there was a series of bad calls, get the best of him. And he obviously, if he had to do it over again, he would have refrained from using that language and stayed in the game.
I don't know
but
about
Gilbert's
that.
all about the team, all about winning championships, unlike Diego, who's all about Diego Pavia. He's all about
And
me,
also-
myself, and I. I don't care about a natty. I care about the Heisman. I care about getting more jewelry and more adulation to me, myself, and I. Anyway, there's no comparison.
I'm
Off
not
the field, Drew
comparing
Gilbert
them to
was an
off the field,
absolute
but
gentleman and scholar.
On the field, Drew Gilbert did anything to win a game, said anything to anybody, ran over anybody anytime he needed to. They're similar players on the field, guys. Come on now.
He
No
ran into an
comparison off the
umpire
field.
who was out to get
And
him.
by the
That
way,
had a
Drew
bounty.
Gilbert went into business for himself against Notre
With an
Dame.
umpire
It's
that was
okay
out
to
to get
Absolutely not.
somebody.
Excuse me, Brian.
There was an umpire that threw
Brian,
him and
you
Frank
can't
Anderson out
turn
on that same
around
play,
and
remember?
MF a home plate umpire, Brian. You can't do that at any level. Come on now. Don't blame the umpire for that.
Tony, if you ask Vitello who was the number one most instrumental player in the history of his 8 years at the University of Tennessee,
That's why Pavia and him are a great comparison. That's
Drew
why
Gilbert would be the name.
No, that's why I compare him to Pavia.
But
Pavia-
Vandy's not going to win 10 games again.
I never said. I'm talking about this year.
Vanderbilt's one and done. That's it.
No Drew Gilbert, no foot in the rung for Tennessee baseball under Vitello is my opinion on that. And
Well,
he put
Gilbert
the foot in the
family,
rung.
class acts, Pavias are trash. On the way out, Tony, I'll say this on a more positive note. We can agree to disagree, but I trust Matt, and I trust my baseball opinion over yours. No offense, my friend. Tony, you've had some titans of sports callers over the 3 decades you've been in business, my friend. And when I think back this time of year, Hanukkah, Christmas, the holidays, I rest in peace to the Rogers, Keith Hatfield, TRs, Farmer Charlies, the Bradys, and I'm sure there's more. Those are just the ones off the top of my head, but rest in peace and feel for their families during the holiday times. They are truly missed and were great people. Tony, like I say, you're the dean for a reason. Keep doing what you're doing.
Love you.
Merry Christmas.
I picked up something yesterday at one of the local, shall we say, thrift stores, an autographed Kevin O'Neill photograph from his time at Tennessee in silver Sharpie, and I thought of the late, great Keith Hatfield. It will adorn the walls here in the Raymere studio shortly. Matt, do you remember the Kevin O'Neill era / error, or are you too young for that?
I was really young. I have very few memories of it, but it was a totally empty gym.
Yes.
And Kevin O'Neill taught like 5 and 6 year old me some new words that I was not allowed to repeat that I could hear from the back row of 117.
One of the great Kevin O'Neill stories of all time is when they were in there doing a workout and there was a prominent Baptist pastor that stopped by to see practice. And O'Neill yelled across the gym at the guy. He said, hey, Pastor so-and-so, have you seen so-and-so lately? And he said, no, Coach, I haven't. Screamed back at him. And O'Neill said, well, when you see him, tell him to go F himself. That's who O'Neill was. And then a guy that played on the team told me and Bino a great story. He said we were they used to partition off Thompson Bowling. He said, and we knew the Lady Vols weren't practicing, but we could hear whistles on the other side, and it sounded like O'Neill yelling and screaming. O'Neill had his coaches, Matt, his assistants, everybody involved in the program, managers, everybody, over there running like suicides. And did
they have to take a charge too?
Like that Chuck Benson guy was running. Like all of them were running. Here's the thing about Drew. I love Drew Gilbert. Drew Gilbert was a maniac here. If you're going to raise something out of a morbid status, you almost need that type of it's us against the world deal. Now, look, the Pavia people are out of control. The mother, Mr. Windows, she could have gotten her own reality show. The brothers are going to have a tough time surviving on that kid's UFL salary. But there are comparisons there. I mean, for Taylor to act like Drew Gilbert was some choir boy on the field, I mean, come on now. He was completely out of control. And, no offense, I didn't do it. He went into business for himself in the Notre Dame series. And I love Drew Gilbert. I'll always love him. But I'll ask anybody involved, if that doesn't happen, do they beat Notre Dame in that series? Let me help you out. The answer is they hammer them. So the team kind of collapsed on itself. And look, it's not fair to blame him because Tony Vitello let it all happen. And at the end of it, they got kind of hoisted on their own petard. But that did happen. I mean, and I'm not making that up. And I never said anything about off the field. I'm never, look, what Drew Gilbert and his mother did for Children's Hospital here, Drew Gilbert's own story and how he was as a young kid, was laying in bed with illness and told he was never going to be able to do the things. They just wanted him to walk out of that hospital and live live a productive, long life. I mean, that stuff is phenomenal. You get no argument from me on that. We had Miss Gilbert on here celebrating that. At the same time, running around the bases, yelling at a pitcher you just had a real long home run off of, this is my effing town, or this is my effing building, or this is my effing house, whatever it was. I mean, come on now. That was the same team. Was that the same year, guys, that Mike Honcho hit a ball over the kid's head and he was giving the up your ass sign to him running around the base? Or am I imagining things?
Yeah, the one finger salute.
Yeah, with the one finger salute.
Same year you had Vitello come out and Jeffrey Macias take a charge.
Yes. Yeah.
That team was out of control and Gilbert was the ringleader of it. But that team also grew college baseball more than any other team ever has.
If I was college baseball, I never would have taken the prompts away. I'd be leaning into that.
They regulated that team in the postseason for that reason, which never made any sense if you're going the sport.
I'd be leaning into that.
They did, and it bit Tennessee.
I would be leaning into that deal. But lot of fun, though. Those were fun days, and I love Drew Gilbert. Diego Pavia had a Drew Gilbert-like impact on Vanderbilt, who raised them to a 10-win level out of nowhere. If you took Diego Pavia off that team this year, what's our record? If you put Diego
probably
Pavia
6-6.
If you put Diego Pavia on the Vols,
they're not 6-6, Brian.
If you put Diego Pavia on the Vols, they're in the playoffs right now. Some of you don't want to hear that. That's truth.
Does he play safety or linebacker for us?
That's exactly right. He would do anything he could to win a game. You can say, well, he's selfish, he's this, he's that. Hey, man, he was running people over at the point of attack in the game against us. That's all I know. There was a giver and there was a receiver of punishment, and he was the giver. Some of you don't want to hear that. Again, I didn't do it. And I'm never going to get on here and tell you things that you just want to hear. I mean, I gotta call like it is. And to you, Taylor, ball one, ball two, strike one, strike two, strike three, you're out. But you started well. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, buddy. Shout out to my friends at VIP Play tonight. Tennessee, I'm looking up right now. Wow. A 3-point favorite. You got to be kidding me. Go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. I think Tennessee wins and covers tonight. I think they're in a tight spot, in a tough spot. I'm not here to give you gambling advice. And God knows if you listen to my picks, you would know not to take my gambling advice. But then again, over at VIP Play, I will tell you this. Here's some advice for you. Everybody gets treated like a VIP over at VIP Play, where your first $20 bet, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly right into your account. The promo code is TNTony. TNTony. It's the phrase that pays. 200 leagues, live always, numerous bet types, props, options. If you have a bet in mind and you don't see it, the VIP Play team will create it for you if it's a compliant event bet type in the state of Tennessee. My Flyers, by the way, are an underdog up in Montreal tonight. Because when I think about those nights in Montreal, if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. And as a wise man once said, I just want to stop. All right, so tell me this, Matt. Are the Vols winning tonight?
I would lean no.
Wow.
God, but I'm curious how the game plays out. I'm like, it's not some must win. I don't think it's just another game in middle of December, but it's against a really good team it's kind of a real toss up. It just kind of goes with how the game plays. Which team can dictate the style? Is Louisville? If Louisville's making outside shots, I would say Tennessee's going to be in a real uphill battle, but maybe Tennessee's the team that has a really good shooting day. You cut down on turnovers, and Louisville kind of melts in the moment. That's certainly possible as well.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Brian, you producing tonight. We're all going to be in here after the game. Alex Myers will be here as well. How much overtime are we going to do, Brian? We're about a half hour in. How much longer you want to go?
Well, I think you might want to take it to the bottom of the hour and
let's get our next call.
Wrap it up.
See what happens here. Hello and welcome in.
Hey, Tom. It took a wild turn there for a few. You and Dixie and Taylor were
getting after it.
We're talking. Yeah, we're talking over each other. It was awesome. We need more of that. I don't think we were in the playoffs if Diego Pavia was our quarterback. Not in Josh Heupel's offense. Maybe if the Vandy coordinator was with him.
Unless Pavia is playing defense for you and improves you back there. Your defense wasn't going to get you in the play. You weren't going to make the playoffs with that defense.
I'm not sure the receivers would have matched with what Pavia's skill set is either.
Right. And Dixie just said it. Our defense sucked ass. That's the real thing. Is anybody surprised that Vandy scored 45 on us? That wasn't the reason we lost that ball game. We knew going in we had to score in the high 40s to beat them, and we scored 24 points. That ball game was Vandy's defensive coordinator and head coach worked our offense over. But as far as Pavia goes, he played 4 years in the same offense. That's so damn valuable. That they had so much they could do with him at quarterback, and you just don't get that very often, which is why the Curtis kid, great, he's a 5-star. You're not going to get him for 4 years in that offense, so you're right. Vandy is not going to be going forward what they were this year with Pavia. Not because Pavia is the greatest quarterback of all time, but because they could do so much because he had so much time in that offense. 2 years at New Mexico State and 2 years at Vandy, that's just doesn't happen anymore. Hell, Jared Garantano played for
figure out
5 different coordinators in college. Say that again, Dixie.
It took them 3.5 years to figure out that Pavia could have a downfield passing game too. They kind of lucked into that against Texas. If they'd had that at the beginning of the year, they would be in the playoffs.
It was week 11 this year that they were like, you know what? Everybody's corners are creeping way up. Let's go over the top every now and then. We got to get a quarterback in the portal. I don't know how. It could be Trinidad Chambliss. It could be somebody from D3. I don't care, but you got to get a quarterback in the portal. You can't go with just two guys on the roster, one being a true freshman, the other being a redshirt freshman that's completely underweight. We need guys we absolutely need guys on defense for sure. You got to get a couple safeties. You probably got to get somebody to play star. I don't know if there's anybody on the roster that can play star. You got two good corners coming back, assuming Gibson's coming back. You got some young linebackers and Perlotti and a few others that can play. Got some pretty good young defensive linemen, but you got to get 5 or 6 guys on defense. But you have to you have to get a third quarterback that you assume is going to win the job over the two guys you know are going to be on your roster. Would anybody disagree?
Listen, I was told that they're shocked by how expensive the market is. Like that these agents are holding these
Why is
teams
anybody
up.
shocked anymore about NIL being
It's just
out of control?
exploding. But this particular quarterback class, because there aren't really any slam dunk home run guys, but they all want tons and tons of money.
No, I mean Hoover's nice, Levitt's nice.
Yeah,
there's good players, but you're right. But again, there's probably somebody we've never heard at Jacksonville State that can come in that's played a bunch of football and operate. And the reason you can't go with the reason nobody really is going with young guys unless they're on a roster like Ohio State's and you can play a young quarterback there. It's because you're better off getting a guy who has seen defenses in live bullets at the college level, because you're even in D2, 1AA, whatever you're playing, you're seeing better competition and more complexity than you see at the high school level, and that's invaluable when you bring another guy in. It's a bad idea to play young guys. It just really, really is.
Yeah.
Even the guys that are in the playoffs that are on the same roster, Stockton was at Georgia for like 2 years before he ever played a down for them. Manning was at Texas for 2 years. It's his third year now. Simpson, it's his third year now. Those guys are grown-up dudes that have been at the school, maturing, playing behind other dudes, learning offense, learning defenses by film study with their coaches. There's just so much value with older guys at quarterback. So we have to go get one. I don't care how much you spend or how little you spend. You got to go get somebody that's seen live bullets. And again, you can't have two scholarship guys on. I mean, Merklinger's leaving. We all agree that's happening, right? I'm not wrong about that.
No, he's leaving. Yeah. No,
so you can't just have two guys. You got to get a portal guy anyway. So you might as well go ahead and get the best guy. The guy gives you the best chance to win.
Are you spending? Are you spending $3 million, Rusty? Are you spending $3 million or $4 million?
If you have to, but you shouldn't. You should be able to find somebody for less than that, right? I mean, Trinidad Chambliss probably costs what? Ole Miss, $600,000. If you go find a guy that can run, can you go find a Joey Aguilar that has you that gives you a good offense and you have a guy that'll be here in the spring.
I take that in a heartbeat.
That can learn the offense.
Yeah, I take that in a heartbeat.
Tony, I said it while you were away. Were you surprised we gave up 45 to Vandy?
No.
With how bad our defense was?
No.
We lost that ball game because we didn't score in the high 40s like we all knew we needed to play with them. Our offense was the reason we lost that ball game. We got to be able to score points in certain ball games, so you got to go get a quarterback. As far as tonight goes, I don't know what happens, but I'll tell you right now, if we continue to play two bigs, we might as well just call the season right now, because we're not going real far if we keep playing the way we are. Later, y'all.
Well, they've got to create – I mean, I do agree with that. They've got to figure out a way to create space on offense. And I don't know if it's inevitably taking Ament, sticking him at a 2, sticking him at a 4, changing his role, relying on him to shoot the ball more, Matt. But the Ament guy's got to get plugged back into this thing.
Yeah, and tonight's a big game for him, and then after that you have the 2 bye games that you really can probably showcase him to build some confidence in him. But yeah, if he could get back on track tonight, that would be not only help you tonight and hopefully lead you to a win, but really help you going forward into league play.
In a lot of ways, what we were just talking about a second ago ties into this Ament conversation in basketball, because there are people on here arguing you didn't need Ament. You needed proven players. Now, obviously, to the Rodney Rice crowd, I mean, Rodney Rice is hurt. He's out for the year. But Rodney Rice isn't the only two-guard Tennessee was involved with. And they decided we're going to take preponderance of our money and we're going to put it on this freshman. And Barnes went all in on him to people. Now, to this point in time, does he look like he was worth doing that for? Probably not. But that's just a small little snapshot here. There's a lot of season left. But it does beg the question, is a bird in the hand better than two in the bush? Which is, again, why so many of these teams in both of these sports that we really follow, and to some extent baseball as well, they're all going to the proven. And I'm going to have league, and I have budget, and I'm having to spend. What I'm telling you today, though, is I'm telling you that what I hear at Tennessee is that this thing has gotten really expensive really quickly, and I've used the term, people are making fun of me for it, but I'm going to say it again, sticker shock is real. Sticker shock is a real thing, even for the current climate we're in. We're talking about some okay quarterbacks wanting $4 and $5 million. Like this Sorsby guy, you know what he is? He's an okay college quarterback. He's not a damn superstar, okay? He's not. I mean, Matt, where would you rank the Sorsby guy against the guy at Georgia that went down there and went to Miami last year?
I mean, Beck's a much better passer. Sorsby's more of a runner.
Yes.
I mean, Beck had been in big games and been, the winning quarterback in some big games. Sorsby, I mean, they're kind of an average Big 12 team.
Yep.
I mean, Carson Beck. I mean, if your aspirations are a national title, I guess Carson Beck would be the choice over Sorsby.
How about this one? Again, I'm just kind of looking at just the whole concept of the portal, what's available, what's there, where this thing is going. I do believe that if you do your homework and you sharpen your pencil and you know that position and you understand your offense, Lane Kiffin doesn't get enough credit for this. He was very resourceful down at Ole Miss in building his team. They didn't have Ohio State money. He built a playoff team there, knowing the sport. This Pruitt guy knew football players. He didn't know how to put it all together, but he obviously knew football players. The thing, Matt, that scares me with our guy is he hadn't proven to us so far here that he understands his position and he understands who works in it. This is kind of a big offseason for him. He needs to hit on this. Even if you're finding just a guy, he needs to unearth somebody. Or they need to pay, but they need to pay for the right guy. It's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of what makes the Old Dominion guy kind of intriguing, because I think his OC was a guy that was under Heupel at one point at UCF, so they kind of run the same offense or similar offense, so that the learning curve wouldn't be as deep, and Heupel can evaluate the guy on just watching tape and kind of understand what he's doing and what the offense is, so you can get a really good eval on the kid and see if he's a good fit. And that's one of the guys I'm not sure would be one of these higher ticketed guys. I mean, you'd obviously have to spend for him, but maybe because it's a similar offense and it's Tennessee, you might could sell him on some of that and not have to pay at a premium for a guy like him.
I tell you this, the thing that's really interesting is there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I would much rather go get the guy from Old Dominion. Again, Joey Aguilar. What Alan Ward was talking about. We ship floors Alan earlier in this chat. I want somebody that wants my job. I want somebody that wants to be here. I want somebody in this culture that's not a prima donna. I want somebody that doesn't need their ass kissed 24/7. I want somebody I'm pulling up rather than they think they're condescending to come in here and do me a favor. I want somebody hungry. I want somebody with a chip on their shoulder. I kind of want somebody like the guy Vanderbilt had, who was a junior college cast-off, who had to go to New Mexico State, who was told he sucked, who we kind of laughed at when they brought him and the offensive coordinator in, and then they had the last laugh. And I'm not saying it has to be that for that reason, but to me, that's a sweetener. And when Bobby Wallace said it a couple weeks ago, it resonated with me because we're in a culture of kiss my ass. I want my ass kissed 24/7. I'm Boo Carter, kiss my ass. When they should have told Boo Carter, you can kiss your ass goodbye. Same with Nico last year. You know, I want my ass, hey, buddy, I tell you what, I'm counting to 5 and you get the hell out of my office. Kind of like when, who was the guy at, help me out here, guys, at UNLV? My buddy overheard it, who's in the industry. He was walking through their complex, and he heard the guy screaming at that quarterback. What was the guy's name? It was
Barry Odom.
Barry Odom.
Barry Odom was the coach. But
screamed at him.
Quarterback, I don't remember his name.
Where
did that quarterback end up at, by the way?
He's the backup at James Madison now.
He screamed at him. Get the hell out of my office, and cut him that day. Sent a release out. This guy's no longer with the team. Hey, man, I want a guy that looks at the Tennessee opportunity and goes, hey, this is serious business, man. You know, Trinidad Chambliss, he took that thing seriously. And then their starter was pouting at midseason because he lost his job due to injury. You're not supposed to lose your job to injury. Hey, when a guy plays that well, you're going to lose your job to injury. You got Wally pipped, brah. I can't help you. But much love. Matt and Brian, any other thoughts here on the way out? Because I got to get out of here so we can work on the blog, work on some business stuff, take a walk, do some healthy things today.
Need a win tonight.
What would that old wise man say, Brian, about winning tonight? Say it like he would say it.
Going to win tonight. Going to win tonight.
Going to win tonight. Going to win tonight. All right, love y'all. Thanks. Got to win tonight. Got to win tonight. We love you. We appreciate you. Tomorrow, we'll continue to track around. Portal Dave's got some DBs up in the portal. Portal Dave is a total degenerate, tracking the portal 24/7. He's a complete nut job, and he will have more up on the blog as we continue to track along. Tennessee is being very pokerish here with whom they're involved with in the portal. But we'll talk about it tomorrow with Cinco and Coach Watson Brown. And I'm going to get Watson Brown to watch that Joseph kid's film because I think Tennessee's going to get involved with him. That would be my sense. We'll see what happens. I think that's a guy they'll try and get involved with, though. I don't know what his price point is. I don't pretend to know that. All this stuff gets expensive till it doesn't. But we've got Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime tonight. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you. I appreciate you being here with us. It's a real honor to be with you today, and I hope that comes across. I hope that comes across. Well, I got to get George Plaster a new photo of me. He's got like a demented picture of me. They already have. I'm up with him later today. But I was thinking about wearing on his show today a black mock turtleneck with several chains and just ooze machismo. I was thinking about oozing machismo today. Oozing machismo. Óyeme, escúchame, óyeme, chico. thought-provoking,
Oh, you
action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated. Thrilling, here at TonyBasilio.com,
never spelling.
home of the Tony Basilio Show. Ba-na-na-na-na.